Please be seated, says the President. The court is now in session. As we scheduled, today we will start hearing the witness TCW 487, and we plan to hear this witness for 4 days this week. Graffier, could you report about the attendance of the parties? Graffier. Good morning, Mr. President. The attendance is as follows. For the prosecution, all is present. For the lead co-lawyers, they are all present. And there is also one civil party lawyer, Ms. Lo Desforge, who has not yet been recognized before this chamber. As for Nunchi's defense, all present. Accused Pon's defense, all present. Ieng Sari defense, all present. The accused Nunchi is present. The accused Pon is present. And the accused Ieng Sari is absent. The witness, TCW 487, who is summoned by the chamber, is present and waiting to be called into the courtroom by the chamber. The witness has already taken an oath. Thank you. President, I noticed the lead co-lawyer. Mr. President, there are 2 points that I would like to raise to your attention. First, it is in regards to the witness TCW 487. The lead co-lawyer would delegate the task of questioning this witness to Banabe Aki and Lao Chunti. And the second point, as stated by the greffier, we have a civil party lawyer who is new and we like to seek recognition from the chamber. The name is La Defort. Is from France and from ASF, and who has been recognized by the bar already. The lawyer already took an oath before the Court of Appeal in 2010. We will be pleased for the chamber to recognize this lawyer so that she can represent her clients before the chamber. I'm grateful, Your Honor. Thank you. Ms. Ladeford, please stand. Ms. Ladeford, you are hereby recognized by the trial chamber as a civil party lawyer for the purpose of the proceeding before this chamber. Pursuant to this recognition, you have the same rights and privileges as other civil party lawyers. Please be seated.
The President, during today's proceedings, Mr. Ieng Sari is absent due to his health reason, and in order to clarify this matter, the chamber appoints the greffier de Paris to read the reports of the doctors who is treating Mr. Ieng Sary and for the considerations of the parties. Greffier. To the President of the Trial Chamber of the ECCCC, through the Office of Administration of the Russian Cambodian Hospitals, through the Office of Administration of the ECCCC concerning the health of Mr. Ieng Sary. On the morning of 20th May 2012, Mr. Ieng Sary was sent to the hospital for emergency due to the fact that he regularly coughed and it was difficult for him to breathe. Through examination, Mr. Ieng Sary has been diagnosed with his respiratory system and his blood veins. His health conditions have been better through treatments, and he will be discharged from the hospital on the morning of Tuesday, 22nd of May 2012. After the release of this accused, Mr. Ieng Sary will have to take a rest for 2 days due to the condition of his health. For the above reasons, I would like to inform accordingly to the President of the Chamber. Phnom Penh, 20th May 2010, Presidents of the Emergency Doctors. Presidents. Thank you, de Paris. After having heard the report concerning the conditions of Mr. Ieng Sary, the Chamber would like to seek for consideration from the parties concerning the situations we have at hand here. Should any party wish to take the floor, you may proceed now. Yes, Council Michael Canavas, you may proceed.
Good morning, Mr. President. Good morning, Your Honors, and good morning to everyone in and around the courtroom. It's regrettable that Mr. Ieng Sary is ill. He does not waive his presence. He does not waive his right to participate in the proceedings, and therefore it is our position that the proceedings cannot go forward until Mr. Ieng Sary is either well or he provides us with a waiver. It's regrettable, but these are the international standards that the international donors have agreed to with respect to this particular tribunal. We have to abide by those standards. Mr. Ieng Sary is entitled to assist in his own defense. I cannot get instructions, or we cannot get instructions from Mr. Ieng Sary if he's not present, or at least following the proceedings by video link. Therefore, it is our position that we'll have to wait until Mr. Ieng Sary's health is better.
Yes, International Co-Prosecutor, you may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. President. It is indeed a new situation that we're facing now. I believe our last hearing was on Thursday, and Yang Sari left the courtroom, and he agreed then that the proceedings would continue and that the questioning of the witness would also continue. This is not the case now. Rule 81.1 obviously states that the accused person has to be judged in his presence, but there have been amendments in this rule, in particular Rule 81.5. The problem here is apparently Yang Sari has not been able to consent. He's still in hospital. So under these conditions, I believe that the defense should decide whether or not the client has consented to fully participate in these proceedings, and this does not seem to be the case. The question that is going to arise now is, when will Mr. Yang Sari be able to be present again? Will he come back tomorrow? And if so is the case, we believe that whenever possible, we should continue with the hearing, and we hope, therefore, that tomorrow Mr. Yang Sari will be among us and will be able to participate in this hearing, even if it is remotely. This is our position, Mr. President.
President, thank you. Yes, the lead co-lawyer for civil party, you may proceed. Counsel Big Ang. Good morning, Mr. President. Concerning the absence of the accused due to his health reason, the lead co-lawyers do not oppose to what has been raised by the defense counsel as well as by the prosecutor. We respect his rights as stipulated in Internal Rule 81 of the ECCC. We do not push forward the hearing without the presence of the accused. So, this is our position, Your President. The President. Chief Defense Counsel for Nuon Chea, you may proceed. Counsel Sonaron. On behalf of the accused Nuon Chea, I would like to support the call for a halt of the proceeding by Defense Counsel for Mr. Yang Sari. This is because the accused Yang Sari is closely related to the testimonies to be heard by this witness today. So given the absence of Mr. Yang Sari, which cannot provide the advice to his counsel, I again support the position by Defense Counsel for Yang Sari. The President, thank you, Counsel. Yes, International Counsel for Mr. Keo Sampon, you may proceed.
Good morning, Mr. President. Good morning to all of the parties. Good morning to all of you. It is obvious that we entirely support Yang Sari's defense team's position. One of the fundamental rights of an accused person is to be present during his trial, so it is therefore important that this principle be abided by, and therefore it is something that we also follow.
President, thank you.
សូមចេញលោកស្រី
The President. Yes, Madam Judge, you may proceed.
Thank you, President. Counsel for Ieng Sari, there are two minor matters that I wish to seek your views on before the President makes his ruling on the primary point. The first is the question about the provision of full medical information concerning your client to the public. I don't imagine that you have much objection to the medical information that's been disclosed today, but for the future it would be helpful to know if you have any objection to full medical information being disseminated. That's my first question. The second is we are anxious to ensure that you have, and this would apply to any other party as well, of course, that you have no difficulties in having contact with your client when he is hospitalised. Thank you.
As to the first question, to start with, it would be great if the lawyers were informed about the medical condition. Normally, we're not. For some odd reason, we're left in the dark. I would have to consult with Ms. Ieng Sari about, in order to provide an informed answer as to the first question. I suspect he would not object to that. I think it is important for transparency purposes. As to the second question, normally we don't have access to the clients. Now there's a different provider, health provider. We're told today, we were told that we may be able to visit him. In the past, we were not. I had attempted to with the previous hospital, and on all occasions we were blocked. So we are going to be we will be making efforts to go visit him today. So that's. I hope I've answered your questions.
Of course, we would have to leave it to the medical authorities to decide if it was inappropriate medically for you to visit. But other than that, I think you can leave that matter with the Chamber to try and resolve, Mr. Carnavas.
President, thank you. Having seen and having read the report of the Cambodian Soviet Friendship Hospital concerning the treatments of the accused Ieng Sari, which clearly indicates that Ieng Sari cannot be discharged from the hospital until tomorrow morning. As a matter of fact, Mr. Ieng Sari has been receiving emergency treatment since the 17th of May 2012. Having heard the position by the defense counsel for Mr. Ieng Sari, who expressed that the proceedings should not go on with the absence of his clients pursuant to the international standards, and that he has not been consulting with his clients, and having heard that other parties also joined the call pursuant to Internal Rule 81.5 and Internal Rule 81 generally, the Chamber now decides that today and tomorrow proceedings cannot go on. The Chamber will adjourn the proceedings and will resume the proceeding on Wednesday, on the 23rd of May 2012. The Chamber would like to inform the public as well that On Wednesday proceedings, we will have two sections, two separate sections. The first section will deal with the opinions of the doctors who have been treating Mr. Ieng Sary. The Chamber would like to hear recommendations from the doctors concerning how the Chamber should conduct its proceedings. That is, whether Mr. Ieng Sary can continue to be present in the courtroom, and if so, how Mr. Ieng Sary can participate in proceeding. Is Mr. Ieng Sary going to participate in person, or is he going to participate through audiovisual means? After the Chamber receives sufficient recommendation, the Chamber will decide accordingly. In the event that we have received negative recommendation from the doctor, then the Chamber will decide accordingly as well. Besides, given the present situation, the Chamber will or may consider whether we are going to have any proceeding on Friday, so that we can expedite our proceedings. So the Chamber now announced the adjournment of today's proceedings, and we will resume on Wednesday, the 23rd of May 2012, as indicated just now. As for witness TCW 487, the court officer is now instructed to coordinate with vessel to return witness to his residence and to ensure his presence on the morning of Wednesday, 23rd of May 2012, to await for call from the Chamber in case we have positive recommendation from the doctors. Security guards are now instructed to take the accused persons Nuon Chi and Keo Sampon back to the detention facility and to return them to this courtroom on the morning of Wednesday, 23rd of May 2012. As for Mr. Ieng Sary, the Chamber has not yet decided whether he is to be brought to this courtroom on the day or not. We will await the recommendation from the doctors first. The Chamber will then decide accordingly. The court is now adjourned.